All right, folks, Alpha 2 is coming up. Steven has charged us content creators with ensuring that your expectations for Alpha 2 be in the right place. To start, let's contextualize this Alpha 2 among other alphas you may have played or watched. Most games that release alphas for MMOs are not doing it for the exact same reasons as Intrepid is. The current meta for gaming is to release an alpha to increase hype for the game. It's mostly a marketing ploy. The game in this situation is actually in a good place and not in need of much testing. So, under the guise of testing, the company launches the alpha to get the word out on the game. This is not the direction Intrepid is taking. This is going to be an actual alpha, where the only goal is to test the systems. If you recall, the Alpha 1 had a specific testing goal. They wanted to test their backend for player volume. They specifically added a siege so that they could test their backend for large numbers of players in one area. There was not much in the way of systems to test. Artisan's system was basically nothing. Nodes were super placeholder. There were 3 classes that were extremely bare bones. The time between Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 has been heavy development on systems. Nodes, caravans, node wars, classes, questing, commissions, mayors, artisanship systems, dungeons, raids, etc. These are my thoughts. The goal of this time period has been to set up the skeleton for these systems, to set up the connections for these systems. Most of these systems are not polished, not finalized. Recently, we saw node wars, and you'll notice that they didn't have all the war types. For Alpha 2, they are only going to have scientific nodes. Not all the weapons will have their full skill trees. What they have been doing is setting a base for these systems so they can test that the code behind the systems behaves correctly and connects with the other systems the way they intend. Once they confirm the code works correctly, all they need to do is duplicate the scientific node code and change the tags to economic node tags. Once they have that base, adding additional types can be easier. That's what the Alpha 2 is for. We are testing that these systems are interacting correctly with the players and the other systems. Now, for the expectation, this is what you should expect. System bugs. These are types of bugs that will not be fun for the most part. Stuff like caravans not spawning, caravans disappearing mid-travel, nodes not leveling as expected, artisan skills not behaving as intended, corruption not working as intended, quests not working, node wars rapidly finishing when they shouldn't. These are hugely significant bugs. They will not be fun. You might spend an hour or 2 on a caravan run just to have the caravan despawn. And truth is, it's a good thing that you found this in the Alpha 2. Now Intrepid get this information, they can correct it for the actual launch, but be prepared. There will also be a ton of minor bugs, things like VFX bugs and UI bugs, like buttons not working as intended or abilities not behaving correctly. And there will be, and hopefully not a lot, but there will probably be some game crashing bugs. Outside of the bugs, they want to test these systems for the potential fun. Potential fun. The node wars may be bare bones, but they want to see that players are having fun with them, even if there are bugs. If there's a part of them that aren't fun, they want to know. This is going to be a huge area for classes. They want to see that people enjoy these classes and that they fulfill the class fantasy players expect. Does gathering, processing, and crafting feel good? This is the time to figure it out. They also want to see that the intention of the system aligns with what players are experiencing. Maybe the intention is to facilitate friction in a natural way that benefits one node over another. But maybe in Alpha 2, people initiate these wars just for open world PvP. Intrepid may need to go back and change these systems a bit to create the gaming environment they're trying to achieve. So let's summarize what to expect. We got system bugs, fun testing, and design testing. This is what you should expect. And this is what you should expect from me for Alpha 2. I want to get into this game and get my hands on all these systems. I want to see what these systems are about and help Intrepid fine-tune this game. I have some specific areas I want to test. Nodes, I want to know where these things are. I want to see how they develop, where the quests are, if they are doing everything they need to do correctly. I'm particularly interested in open dungeons. I'm particularly interested in how the development of the node interacts with the world around it. How does this development open up dungeons nearby? Is that even going to be in Alpha 2? I will be maining a ranger, so I want to test every ability and test how well this fulfills the ranger fantasy I've craved my whole life. I want to see these class augments, though I did just recently hear that they're going up to level 25, so we might not even get those in the Alpha 2. Though I would really like to see the augments. Please let me have some augments. I want to see them. I want to provide feedback. I really want this class system to be unique and beautiful and just amazing. But if you don't, I guess that's fine. I want to see the artisanship system. I will be grandmastering scribing, but other than that, I don't know. And lastly, I want to play with my guild. I joined the Grey Sentinels a few years ago. I have not played with them much, and I'm excited to get involved. I'll leave you off with this. Something you need to understand. Alpha 2 will essentially last to launch. I expect it will be 2 to 3 years, so this will be a long process. Intrepid will be adding things along the way. For example, we're not starting with a rogue or summoner, but it's going to get added after the launch. So Steven has asked us content creators to do our part to ensure that the MMO community goes into Alpha 2 with the correct expectations. This is a testing environment, not a gameplay experience. Overall, I don't think creators push this expectation enough, and I'm certain that the big streamers that play in Alpha 2 will not effectively push this expectation. We have an opportunity to help make the game that I believe the MMO community needs, that the MMO industry needs. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. Like and subscribe to see me be wrong about more things. Have a good one.
Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you, subscribe.